Let me continue with the Excel reporting customization discussion. I'd like to show you the ability to delete or add columns to an existing template. So I'm going to take an existing template. Here's the ISTD template, and I'm going to make a copy of that, and then I'm going to open that in Excel. Now, let's look at there's actually 3 design worksheets here. I'm going to look at the sample worksheet. And I'm going to click on this row and then look across and decide that I don't really want to see the data analysis method. So I'm going to delete that column. And now it's gone. Now, I'll prove that to you by looking at the XML mapping source tree. And you can see that the acquisition method is still mapped, but the data analysis method will not appear on the report. If I drop down to this column right here, I want to edit this row. Now, one important point here. Notice that I'm on map 8 because I've been editing this row. When I click here, it moves to map 11. It's quite important, and I always click first on the row to get the mapping that I desire. So if I look at this row, I've decided again that accuracy, I don't really want to see that piece of information, so I'm going to delete that particular column. And instead, I'm interested in the information that has to do with the integration. Has this been manually integrated? So what I'm going to do is go over to the source pane and get the manually integrated column and drag that over to the end of this row. And there it is, manually integrated. I won't bother with the formatting. Now, if I wanted this column to appear at a different place in the row, I can take this column at this point. It's a little tricky, but Excel allows you to drag this column over to another place in the row. And if you're very careful about it, you can drop it in between 2 other columns. In this case, I'm happy with where it is at the end, but you can also do that. So let me prove that that works by processing a small batch here of results. And as it's worth mentioning, the importing happens. The graphics are then brought in, the formatting, and you'll end up with the reports. So if I look at that particular sample report, you'll see that the data analysis method is not on the top. And the manually integrated information right here, these samples were not manually integrated, has become part of this customized template. Thanks for your attention.